see how you can create and then use an IDS file to validate your model. Today I would like to focus on applicabilities and requirements in facets to show you how to fulfill the information that are required to create the IDS file. I won't focus on additional information, descriptions, and so on, but I would like to focus on crucial stuff. Let's start with create. I would like to focus today on creating 3 example facets. Of course, in the first steps you can indicate some information to put your email address or your name, the date, description, and so on as a metadata to IDS file. But the most important thing today is to focus on specifications. The first example specification will be regarding the story name requirements. When you provide the title, you can click Add New. The specification is created. You can see with the red borderline that you need to specify to which IFC version the facet will refer to. So I will choose that one. You can fulfill the additional information, but today I won't focus on that part. You go to the applicability and you need to specify to which elements the requirements will be regarding to. So I would like to prepare the requirements for the building story elements. I will indicate them with applicability. Here I added the facet entity and I can provide the value that needs to be matched in this applicability. As you can see, when I'm starting to type, the hints are visible and I can choose the one from there. Now you can see that we have created the first applicability. So in general, you can read that we will refer to IFC version and the specification required that there will be elements with the entity type IFC building story. Now we can go to requirements. We will specify what requirements needs to be fulfilled by those elements. So the first requirement will refer the attribute, so I will choose attribute, and I will specify the type of specification of requirement that is required. In attribute name, I will say that the attribute I want to specify and require, its name is name. And the attribute value I can specify in a few ways, and I would like to use the option pattern. In this case, I can use the regex that are saying that I want to have the word floor and then 2 digits. Now I will show you 2 other facets. I will create the new facet by going here, and now I will specify the title as space requirements. Okay. I can go here and I see that I need to specify to which version I would like to refer to. I will choose the same one. In applicability, I can set to which elements I want to provide requirements. So, as you can see, I'd like to have some requirements to elements, to space elements. So I would like to just add one rule for applicability, which refers to entity, and it is saying that in the model there needs to be, that is required to be elements that entity type is equal to IFC space. Okay. Then I can create the requirements for those spaces. And here I can provide, for example, a requirement for an attribute. I will provide the same attribute as before, the name attribute. And see here, I can provide the option with which I would like to define the requirements of the value of that property. So for example, if my names in the model should be numbers from 1 to 20, I could use the enumeration option and then just write value as 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 and so on. But I can also use the regex as before, so I can use the option pattern, and with the regex I can provide the pattern as you can see now on the screen. That means that the numbers that can appear as a value of that attribute name should be the positive integers. Okay. Another requirement for the same elements which we have defined before in applicability will also refer to attribute, but this time not to name, but to attribute which name is long name. And here I will use the option enumeration so you can see how it works. I want to have the values that are equal to those that I'm defining here. So I'm saying that in that model there needs to be spaces, and the spaces needs to have one of those values, one of values that I'm writing here right now. So there can be space living room, dining room, bathroom, wardrobe, and so on. Okay, and the last short specification in that IDS file that I would like to show you, another short example, will refer to wall. So let's indicate the title. Okay. And here we need to start from the same as before. I'm saying that the option is required, and here I will say that there needs to be elements with the entity type defined as IFC wall standard case, and those elements needs to match some rules. The first rule will refer to property. The first rule will refer to property and its type is required. I would define that the property from specific property set needs to have some strict values. So let's see example. We will say that the property from property set pset wall common which property fire rating needs to have some specific value, and here I'm saying it needs to have value like this one or that one. Any other will be wrong. And the next property that I will require will be load bearing, and at this time I would like to say that it just needs to be in that model. So the same property set, and the value of property set I want to have in my model is the property of that property set that I want to have in my model is load bearing. Okay, and you can see that the IDS Maker fulfilled the cells, so it also know that the values needs to be in some specific data type. Okay, but as you can see, I'm not providing any value, so I just want to define that such property needs to be in those elements which are IFC wall standard case. Okay, let's define the last requirements in this IDS file and as well in this specification. And here let's provide the requirement for property from property set base quantities. Okay, and I want to have information about net volume. So here, that one. So when you created your specification and you want to export your IDS file, you need to go to XML. Here you can see your file, and you can see that the validator checked it and the IDS file is correct. Now you can download it here. Now in Beam Vision, you can open the model that you get or you prepared and check if it is correct, referred to the IDS with the requirements. So to do that, you just need to go to Plugins, to IDS Checker, select your file which you get or you created, and verify if the model is correct or if there are some inaccuracies. You can see that the model has not passed verification process. You can go to Report. On the left side, you can see all the specification and your IDS file that were defined. Here you have additional options. For example, you can see that now the incorrect specifications are highlighted. You can see the highlighting in red. So you can see that 2 specifications are wrong and the one is correct. In those specifications, you can see, of course, all the requirements that you have defined, but thanks to that additional options, you can, for example, see the list of objects. You can also turn on the counter so you can see how many exactly elements are wrong based on that specification or regarding that specification. The total number of incorrect items are indicated here. On the right, you can see each of element that is incorrect. When you click on the element, you can see why the element is wrong. For example, let's see that element, which is that space. That element, which GUID is indicated here, is wrong because of specification that refer to space requirements because of 2 wrong information. First of all, the attribute name is wrong defined because it is not a number, but you can see here that in the name there is just written room number. And it is also similar with long name, where we don't have whole storage compartment, bathroom, or those expected values, but we can see just zone name. You can see also different elements that are wrong. For example, I can click on that 7 element, and here and here, with that, it is also something wrong. The space have long name, which is defined as corridor, and that value is not listed in the values that are expected. But in this case, for example, you can see that the attribute name is proper because it's just a number. Of course, you can also see all the elements and just scroll down to see which elements are wrong and why. And if you would like to, you can save it, or if you have your IFC Commands BCF plugin activated, you can also then export the results to BCF file format. If you'd like to, you can also show in beam vision just those elements that are wrong, and then you can easily see which elements have some information incorrect.